Hi there, Ashley here with We Make Systems Sexy. And for today, we're going to be talking a little bit more about ClickUp. So, something that I really love in ClickUp, a feature that I love, are the filters. As you know, there are a lot of different view options that you can use within ClickUp. And then you can take it a step further by using the filters applied to those views. So, we're going to talk about just a couple of examples of use cases and why that's such a helpful tool within ClickUp. So I personally like to use filters a lot of the times when I'm using actually a list view, but you can apply these ClickUp filters to a lot of the different views. So board view, calendar view, Gantt view, whatever makes sense with the way that you have your business structured and the way that you're trying to use these filters. But for today, I'm just going to talk about using the filters on a list view. So for example, one thing that I like to do when I set up a client as a new retainer client within our business is I create a task list that we use just for the tasks that we have assigned from them, the things that we need to do that particular client. And I have the statuses that they kind of run through their own production. But I have a done status that I use called resources or, tutorials, whatever actually applies to that client. And maybe it has all the logins, tutorial videos, links to their SOPs, just a way that is really easy access for my team members to get whatever they need without having to go and try and search all through the client's platforms. So we have that all just kind of linked right into their client list. However, I don't want all of those resources located on the same list as our task production, or basically the way that we have task management going through. So I don't want it to really be there cluttering up our to do, in progress, needs review, on hold kind of statuses. So it is part of the statuses that we manage within that list. And I don't want to create an entirely different list just to house the resources. So what I do is I apply filters. Again, I use that particular status as a done status, which means it's not there showing as something that needs to be done. So I actually apply the filter within the actual ClickUp list saying, on one list, I show only the active statuses and I name that our task list. And then I create a secondary view within the same list, showing the list view, and I rename it our resources. And then I actually apply that filter showing that I only want it to show that particular status, my done status named resources. You can use this in a number of ways. So you could, again, think outside the box of what actually applies to you and your business. But it's just a really simple way to keep things organized without having to have things all over the place or have multiple lists really for the same client. That doesn't really always make sense and apply. Of course, I'm just giving one example of one way that you can use the filters, but the actual options that are available are more than just filtering by status. You can filter by assignees, you can filter by priorities and tags, and there are other options available. So we actually have another one that actually we filter by a certain tag. So just thinking outside the box again for what makes sense for your process and your business and what information that you want to be located within ClickUp, your one source of truth, without having to go digging somewhere else. That really helps for task management within ClickUp, project management within ClickUp, and not wasting so much time. Again, we want ClickUp because we want to be more productive, and we don't want that to always cause us to be distracted, having to search into other platforms to find this information. So it's nice when you can filter it this way and have it very clean and organized right within just one list, for example. Of course, if you decide that you don't want to use that filter, you can just go back into the filters and clear the filter that you created. You don't have to be stuck with something if you're just testing it out or you see that that way doesn't work. And that is another cool option for using the filters. So, of course, I love to talk to you about the way that we can offer ClickUp setups for you. We have our ClickUp VIP day, that's ClickUp in a day. Of course, we help our clients to figure out how they can apply these different list views and board views and how they can apply the filters that make sense to their business in a way that makes their business more organized. So if you want to figure out, if you want more information about how you can get your ClickUp set up in a day using filters and all of these little organizational tips that we like to talk with you about, then please feel free to shoot me a DM. Also, if you would like to see this live but in action, you need to join our newsletter, because I'm going to actually do a step-by-step of how you can actually apply a filter in ClickUp. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much for hopping on today, and we'll see you next time. Bye.